Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Patrice Berry, licensed clinical psychologist, and here I share educational videos on a variety of topics. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that almost everyone I saw this past week was talking about, the coronavirus. Because I work with people from a variety of backgrounds, I really don't talk that much about my own specific beliefs or faith background in therapy. But here, I just wanted to share some information about how you can have faith, wisdom, and knowledge, and maybe adjust your behaviors based on that information. So I live in Virginia, and today, March 14th, 2020, we have 30 confirmed cases of the coronavirus. And I'm pretty sure that number is only going to go up. And so as a family, as a business, as a friend, as a believer, I've been making adjustments based on the information that's available. And I'm very prayerful throughout this time. And I really feel like some of this is really just using good judgment. I just wanted to share a few tips on how you can get through this time and still have strong faith and maybe make some adjustments if you're able to in your life. One of the biggest things that you'll want to do is limit the amount of media that you're watching, because right now the coronavirus is all anyone is talking about anywhere. And there are a lot of other things going on in the world, and I understand that we're at a point where we are taking this very seriously. But watching more than 30 minutes to an hour of any updates on what's currently happening, especially if you receive text message alerts or any type of phone alerts, I would step back just to be able to breathe. Right now, things are really going to start to feel heavy. There's going to be a lot of information that's going to come forward, and people are going to start to feel some worry, anxiety in this situation. And the opposite of anxiety is faith. And you have to talk back to anxiety, because anxiety wants control. It wants its way and it wants certainty. And right now, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of things that we can't control. And so one of the biggest things that I've done personally is just prepare, have a plan. And so right now, as a family, we've talked about what's our plan if we're home for 1 week, if we're home for 2 weeks, if we're home for a month or 2 months. Also, what would our plan be if our child's daycare closes? Like, you're just gonna want, from a place breathing and from a place of peace, you're just gonna want to have some of that basic information and to have a plan, and not doing this from a place of fear, but honestly from a place of faith. Faith means preparation. I love the scripture that says faith without works is dead. And so if I just believe that everything is going to be okay, but don't go up and buy all the toilet paper. Don't go, but you should have certain things in place. And I'm not a medical expert. I'm not that type of person. And so you'll have to see what types of things you need. You make the decision that's best for you and your family with your community in mind. As Americans, we tend to be very focused on us and what I want, and I want to go out, and so I'm going to continue to live my life. Well, with this type of virus, where you may not be affected if you get sick, but the period of time that you may not even know that you're sick and spreading things, you may end up affecting other people. And so I think this virus is going to make us think like a community. It's going to make us connect in new ways. I'm also very grateful that within my community that I've seen people offering to go get groceries for people. I went to the grocery store today. Oh, it was crazy. And I was sad to see people that I know are in those vulnerable populations out having to shop for food. And I wish that we had set up some type of fast lane for them so that they could get in and out as soon as possible. If I had had someone behind me, normally when I was walking around the store, they were still shopping. But if you are in a vulnerable population and if you need help and support, reach out to your community because I'm sure there's someone there that will help out. You may also need to step away from social media if you monitor yourself and realize that it's increasing your feelings about the situation. If you feel yourself starting to get anxious, if your chest starts to feel heavy, and not from like a medical heavy, but you start to feel this weight, this burden start to come on you, you may need to step away from social media for a little bit or limit your time that you're looking at that as well. I'm reading a phenomenal book that was recommended by a friend called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, and it's been absolutely amazing. During times like these, the atmosphere is open for businesses to be launched, for books to be written, for people to go on ahead and start that YouTube channel or start streaming on Twitch or whichever streaming service if you play games. There's going to be opportunities for people to profit during this time. And it's really important that you keep your eyes and ears, that you stay alert to what's the good that's going to come out of this? How can you turn this situation around and make it benefit you? Especially for people that are not going to be able to go into their physical location and if they don't have a job that they can do from home. Looking at what other things can you do. Be the calm in the storm, especially for your family. I really want you to also be aware of the conversations that you're having around your children and your teens. They are listening, they are watching, and you are going to want to talk with them as well because they have their own thoughts and feelings about what's going on too. And so you're going to want to reassure them without lying to them. You're going to want to reassure them that everything is going to be okay, that there's a plan, and have difficult conversations when you know that they're not around, when they're not going to overhear it. If you have any children that are in foster care, that have a history of adoption or trauma, they tend to be a little bit more nosy, and it can be more difficult to have those conversations because you might think they're asleep, but maybe they're awake. And so you just want to be mindful of the overheard conversations because kids pick up on the emotions of adults. Children from infant on up, when something happens in their life, they look to their parents to help them understand it. They look to their parents to help them organize their emotions. And so one of the biggest things that parents are going to want to do is to put their mask on first. So parents are going to want to be mindful and be aware. So don't ignore the feelings that are building up and rising and the questions that you have, because it's going to build up and pop out some other way. It's going to come up in your dreams. It's going to come up maybe with excessive eating or not eating enough. Stress has to be managed somehow. And so you're going to want to make sure that you're dealing with this in a healthy way. I'm glad that you can still do outdoor activities, that being out in the open, as long as you're not in a crowded situation, that is still okay for now. And so use this time to connect with your family. For me personally, we're going to potty train our toddler if we end up at home. And I was having trouble finding 3 consecutive days just due to my work schedule right now and just life. Finding 3 days where we could start the potty training process that our son has no interest in at 2.5. Pray for us. And so take this time to organize that closet, organize that shelf, go on ahead and do some cleaning if you get the time. Try to find some balance in your life. Maybe one area of your life has been getting more of your attention, and maybe some other areas haven't been getting as much attention. So I know for me, cleaning the house. So if there is an extended staycation, I probably will get around to cleaning those baseboards that I'm not a big fan of cleaning. I'll get around to doing some of those things. And I'm going to see it as a positive. I'm not going to view it as I'm stuck. This is a choice. At this point, because of the way that some of these things have been developing, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make the decision to take a few weeks to just let things settle Also to remain prayerful and connected to your source. And so for me, I'm a Christian. My source is God, and that is one of the biggest things that's going to help me through this, my faith. I'm being prayerful and also being wise and using the knowledge that I have to do my best to not spread it to someone that is in one of those vulnerable populations. Also be a great time to attack some debt if you can. If you end up with a job where you can get some income and you can go ahead and continue to attack your bills, keep it up, because I believe a lot of the interest rates are going to fall and people are going to be able to get ahead financially during this time if they make certain decisions. Don't position yourself for today or tomorrow. Position yourself with legacy in mind, with 5, 10, 20, looking at generations beyond you, and make those types of decisions. And I know for me, it's going to be staying off Amazon a little bit, because when I get bored, sometimes something arrives at my house tomorrow or the next day. And so that's going to be what I'm going to do. And I'm going to not let my anxiety talk me into buying more things that I don't need. I'm very grateful to my church that they made the decision to stop services for now. I will go to a church with 4 services, and a lot of people are in those vulnerable populations. And so I'm just very grateful. And I'm going to continue to be faithful to my church during this time, because that's often why many churches don't close, because they think if you don't come to the building, that you won't give. And so if you have things coming in, make sure to support your community, because that's how we all get ahead and we all get to bring and lift one another up. And so all breathe together, and we're going to get through this. It's going to be fine. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And so just be prepared. I don't say that to alarm people. I say that from a place of peace. I say that from a place just looking ahead. And then things are going to get better. So let's all just take a breath and breathe and use your relaxation and your coping skills. That might be one of the next videos I do. How do you cope when things go wrong? How do you cope when things don't go the right way? And if you have any questions for me related to this topic, not medical, because I'm not that kind of doctor, counseling, therapy doctor, testing doctor, not medical doctor. I'm Dr. Berry, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.